Hey everybody, Brian here from quantlabs.net. Just wanted to go over a quick question from somebody who just joined my quantitative analytics membership. So if you come under my website here and just come up to the top and choose product, what I'm referring to is this service. It's a monthly service right here, quantitative, sorry. And this person has joined and they had a bunch of questions. So it was all concerns about um, basically forex trading. So I just wanted to go over some of the tools that I'm using and will be using that is coming out of my analysis over the last number of years. First, let's look at IQ Feed. Now, actually,
I vividly remember the moment when I started seeing.
Just do even a better option. Okay. So we have a broker that I'm probably going to go with called Dukas Copy.
Everybody, Brian here from quantlabs.
Yeah, here, I'm getting a little confused. So if you come under playlists, let me just start over again. Probably easier. So just come to the YouTube channel, Quant Labs. So under there, you come under playlists.
Hey there.
And then, as I said, we are going to talk about some of the playlists that are linked here. First, if you go under Dukas Copy,
everybody, Brian here from quantlabs.
What you'll notice here is I've got a bunch of videos on the preferred broker that I'm probably going to go with out of Switzerland, Dukas Copy. Now, I've done some analysis and reviews on other brokers, Oanda, which I just don't think that their service, their customer service is up to par. I have tested Dukas Copy as far as I can take it with terms of service, customer service that is, in terms of the technical and just general account information. And they've been fairly well, better. They're better. They're responding better than Oanda and all the other brokers that I've tested. Now, if you have not seen, I've got a bunch of reviews on Oanda, FXCM, and all these other brokers. But I'm out of all the brokers, if you know, I do question. Dukas Copy is the better of the bunch. And the big takeaway you may want to take out of that is what broker do you want to go with? Now, I will tell you, if you can, and this may not apply for Americans, but if you can, apply with European-based brokers. Now, I say that because they have a better currency selection, so they're going to include some of the more exotic type of currencies like maybe the peso, the ruble, the Turkish lira, the South African rand, and some others that will have some news built around that. Where you make money is obviously in volatility. So I will be putting out some scripts over the next couple of days to weeks showing you how I do it and how I'll apply it to this membership, because there's going to be reports coming out of that. So keep your eyes peeled for that. So that is one of the big reasons why I would recommend you to go with a European-based. Dukas Copy is not bad. Here's another one. Lmax is not bad as well, out of London, UK. So they have a decent selection as well. And it's pretty well the same as Dukas Copy, but you need about, I think it's 5 or 10,000 of your base currency wherever you live. And they do take Americans as well. So I'm not sure where Lmax is at these days. I haven't really checked into them in the last few years, but I've heard some of their funding's kind of weird, where you have to get your account stored in Cyprus or some weird area. So I have to verify that. But for now, I think Dukas Copy is a better place. And the big lesson to be learned from all of this, if you're new, you are going into automated trading, you want to go with a broker that requires very little amount so that you can test your strategies and your algos and your trading ideas, try to get them to a point where they're fairly rigid and consistently work in whatever market. Now, the other thing is that's Dukas Copy. Now, obviously, the software that you use, the platform, is important. If you are an automated trader, an algorithmic trader using something like MetaTrader or MT4, sorry, or even MT5, it's okay. But the nice thing about Dukas Copy here is a JForex. So if you come again under the Dukas Copy playlist, I have some demos of using JForex, which is the proprietary platform for Dukas Copy. Now, I have verified through last week through our German friend Bernard, who has verified that JForex is a much better platform, has way more advantages than MetaTrader over because it's proprietary. It's lighter base, more control, just better. So if you don't mind working with Java and the Java API from Dukas Copy, that may be a unique advantage and real unique trading advantage you have. So I will plan to do that. And if you do go through the same playlist in Dukas Copy, you'll see some demos of me, like you see here, of the Java client with JForex. So I do have some videos I have put up a few months ago using JForex. So that's one of the big tools in the brokers I'll go with. Now, that's Dukas Copy. Another big important factor that you really need to understand is the IQ feed data feed. I've looked at many data feed providers for historical and real time, and I will tell you that IQ feed seems to be the most logical, especially if you're starting out and want to get into pure algorithmic trading or automated trading related around things like having your own software, maybe using a programming language like Python, stepping away from MetaTrader, because if you have gone through some of my more popular review videos on brokers, what you'll find is many people are saying the same thing of something called stop hunting, where a lot of brokers will work against your orders and will manipulate your orders to virtually lose and have the broker benefit from those losses, and they will work against you. A lot of brokers do that. Not going to name names here. I don't need to be identified and sued, but let's just leave it at that it's something that you need to be very aware of with any type of retail forex trading broker. Now, the nice thing with Dukas Copy is you can just send over the orders to Dukas Copy and not let them know your stop losses because once you send over the messages of your stop losses to the broker, they will have knowledge and where you want to get out on your position. So you definitely don't want to send over that information. So the way to protect yourself is to ensure that you use virtual stop losses within your own software, namely, again, your own programs like Python. And I've demonstrated again in Dukas Copy how to do that, because the less information you signal to your broker, the better. So the only thing you want to signal is the order itself, not a stop loss where you want to get in and out, because that's key on one of the ways those brokers will work against you. So I do have some techniques there in the Dukas Copy playlist to show you how to get around that. Okay, the other big thing as I was leading into is IQ feed. Now, typically, most professional traders will tell you to use the broker data for the Forex, which is very true. But if you want to get a better snapshot on real world Forex data, using IQ feed is very affordable. It's like 30 or 50 bucks, all the major currencies out there and the different pairs. And it's provided from FXCM. We've heard the horror stories from FXCM and how they manipulate the orders. We're just using their data, so that's okay. If you want to go to a more professional level using different sources, you can use the IQ feed 10-4 option too, which a lot of people aren't aware of. But let me just pull that up for you. So if you just do a search for IQ feed 10-4, this is a really cool option. 10-4 right here. So this is an option that will give you some info on extending out your different data sources from Forex brokers and banks. And these are the typical sources. So we have UAE, Argentina. I mean, you're getting true global snapshot of the data from all of the major currencies out there, and all the different pairs, as you can see here, including the spot as well. Now, you may not be able to properly execute off that through a typical retail Forex broker, but it will enable you to at least build rigid strategies working with good, clean data coming from a data source like through IKeyFeed, and it's affordable too. Okay, so just want to make sure we understand that. Okay, so continuing along in IKeyFeed, let me just go back to, okay, so this is IKeyFeed, the playlist. Here, there's two tools that I would highly recommend you use. I've mentioned them numerous times. The one that is really very useful, which I'm unfortunately, I have to say, still going to be on Windows for a while, is using a tool called Q Collector. If you go through here and find it, you'll find some demos of it and how I use it. It's actually a really good tool. And if you want some information on that, just do, again, a search on that called Q Collector. And what you're looking for is the Q Collector Expert for DTN option, which is DTN is IKeyFeed as a data source. So you can quickly build up portfolios that your IKeyFeed subscription gives you. And it's a very quick way to download tick data, historical data, and it's like the tool's like $100 and something, very cheap. And I've used this since I've started for the last 5-6 years. So it's yeah, $130. It's an excellent tool to really understand how to quickly build data using CSVs or any data format you want. But unfortunately, it's only available for Windows. Now, the other tool that I really like that can be useful is a tool I like to call XLQ. XLQ from this company called Qmatics. So even if you don't program, this is a very useful tool. So what it does is it enables you to have access to all your typical technical analysis techniques using XLQ, using Excel VBA if you want, and it enables you to access IKeyFeed as a data source. So obviously that includes your forex data, which is awesome. And again, this is a very cheap option. I think it's like $100. So if you're willing to spend a few $100s on these sort of things, these are excellent tools to work with. And I do use these and will be using them. But again, these are for IKeyFeed. So again, to build out your strategies, test your data strategies in Python, and then you can roll them out into Dukas Copy. There will be some discrepancies between the pricing data from Dukas Copy, let's say, or wherever else. But these are really good tools to work with. Now, the other thing is I've not mentioned interactive brokers. Now, I've heard real weird things about interactive brokers lately. I can't verify these. I learned these through my meetup groups that I have here in Toronto. We had a pretty life-changing one last Monday where a few things were mentioned. I did mention Lmax, the broker. So what I heard, and again, can't confirm it, but if somebody wants to leave a comment or just message me through Lmax, is that if you want to get funding through Lmax, you have to have your money deposited into a Cyprus account. Now, when I hear that, that really puts me, that makes me feel uneasy, because it's like those weird countries that don't have the strict regulation and control when it comes to these type of brokers. So I'm hoping that Lmax doesn't fall into this category, but again, I can't say yes or no. Okay, and again, let's go back to Dukas Copy, just so everybody knows. There's two options when it comes to Dukas Copy. There's Dukas Copy Switzerland and Dukas Copy Latvia. From what I heard, Dukas Copy Europe, which falls through Latvia, again, puts you into that weird, your money's deposited in Latvia, which means it's not protected, it's not regulated, whereas if you put your money where you need 5,000 Swiss francs for Dukas Copy Switzerland, you are then protected under the Swiss banking system with that account. So there's two separate accounts with Dukas Copy. So again, I can't guarantee that you'll be regulated under the so-called Latvian or European division of Dukas Copy. So I want to make sure we understand that as I move forward through that. But the idea here is to start really small, and it's really important to understand that. Okay, the other thing is I mentioned here is interactive brokers with their forex. Just do a search on interactive forex. Now, I don't know. Again, rumors from that Monday meetup was forex for Canadians. It was like they're no longer doing this. So I have no idea if this is true or not. So here's the currency pairs that you have, which are not too bad. We have the ruble, as I mentioned. There's no Turkish lira, as you can see here. There is a South African rand, Korean won, Singapore dollar. So they've added a few, and that's not too bad. But you kind of want to step into the more exotic stuff. So, but do want to also understand you need 10,000 US, or I think 10,000 US to get started with Interactive Brokers. And for sure, Interactive Brokers is probably the cleanest of the bunch of all the brokers out there. Okay, so knowing all that, what else can I tell you? Okay, so that's that with the tools for automation and even non-programming with Excel, let's say with this Excel cube. So let's talk about my stuff here. So as I said, we've got this quant analytics service. The idea here is when I look at the survey that I've done about 2 months ago, majority of people that had an interest in forex, the asset class for trading, which was overwhelmed all the other ones like futures and options and stock. So let's talk about stock. Stock is an interesting asset class, but generally from the professionals that I've talked to, a lot of them will not trade in stock or equities, because basically there's so much volatility in these. There's phases where the markets do well, and obviously with the recent Trump bump, you call it, and that momentum run, you can do well in that. That's a gimme. But when we go into choppy environments of stocks, it's pretty hard to make money at it. So that's why people step out of that and move into things like futures and options and forex, where it's more lucrative. Out of all the asset classes, I would say options is your best bet. It's very difficult to actually make money in it. But the goal in the next, I don't know, 6 months, a year, is to move into options, to automate it, and to really, I've got guys making 2, 3, up to 6 times on positions they put on, and they do it consistently, and they do it with data. So I'm going to hopefully down the line be working with some of these real world traders and get that same success and be able to automate it and then put it into the reporting of this analytics service. So the big focus of the get-go with this service is to focus on forex trading, because that's what the market wants. That's what my audience wants. So that's what I'm going to do, with the mindset of using a very micro level account, like $100 to test these strategies, to test out these theories. That's the direction I'm going. So hopefully I'll help you out. Some of the tools that I've mentioned here, you can definitely use for forex, and some of the services as well, especially this 10-4 option with IQ feed. So hopefully I'll help you out, and let me know if you got questions. Talk to you later.